Hey everybody, it's Roman Rich. Thanks for joining me this evening. Glad to see all my roadies out there, all my Route 66 enthusiasts. Obviously, here I'm on episode 9. That's where we're at right now. I'm Roman Rich. I'm your host of the show of 66 Minutes. This is our 9th straight episode, and really appreciate you tuning in. So, just a quick recap if you haven't seen the show before. We do this every week. We spend about an hour 66 minutes, in fact, talking about all things Route 66, and we'll bring on some special guests, and I'll get to that in just a second. Again, you obviously found me here, so you know where to find us, but just in case you get lost, you can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and we'll get going here in just a second. You're going to see some QR codes popping up. You'll want to scan those with your camera. And those are important because that'll give you links to certain things that we're talking about, just like this one, right? I always do that wrong, right? There, I got it. 66 Minutes with Roman Rich. That's where you can sign up for our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group, and we get chats and all this stuff from all of our different streaming channels, but that's the one that we truly interact with. So it's important that you scan that link and join us there in that group if you want to interact with us all the time, even when the show is not on. So tonight we've got some special friends of mine, and we're kind of keeping in this theme for April. Last week we had Rich Henry on from the Rabbit Ranch in Staunton, Illinois. And this week we're kind of playing off that trend and having some relation to that because we're going to have the owners of the Jackrabbit Trading Post on tonight. That is Cindy and Tony Jacquez, and it's going to be exciting. They're coming to us all the way from Joseph City, Arizona, and they're great people. They've been a part of Route 66 pretty much their entire life, and there's going to be a lot to talk about. So let's get the first segment out of the way before we bring them in. We're going to talk about my T-shirt. That's what I do every week, and this week's no different. So George, if you would, please pop up a picture of the T-shirt that we're going to look at today. And it's not exactly Route 66 related. It's not Route 66 related at all, in fact. But I like the shirt because, well, it's got neon and it's got some bull riders and stuff. So, it's a pretty cool shirt. How did I come across this shirt? Well, it's an interesting little story. I was going through my playlists and I was just thumbing through new music because I get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. And this song popped up and the opening lyrics just hit me like a ton of bricks. It talks about this rodeo man having to be carried out of this arena after being killed by a bull. This bull rider gets killed by a bull and he has to get carried out. And this happened in the late 80s. I believe, or early 90s when this all went down. So, and then George has got it popped up right there. If you want to catch the song, you should scan that QR code because it's a really, really good song. I mean, it's kind of a tearjerker. I'll warn you. But being intrigued, I looked up the song, the basis of it, and that's where I kind of opened up a rabbit hole of information regarding Lane Frost. And Lane Frost is the man depicted on my shirt. In neon form. He was a famous bull rider. And so some of you out there who follow rodeos and bull riding and all the cowboy stuff, you might be well versed with this. I obviously didn't get the note because I never heard of him. But man, I wish I would have when I was younger. He was around when I was just a kid. He was a champion bull rider that managed to conquer some of the toughest bulls in the world, including a bull that had never been successfully ridden. And that bull's name was Red Rock. Red Rock had been ridden 307 times unsuccessfully. In other words, nobody could get 8 seconds out of a bull ride on Red Rock. But Lane Frost was the first one to do it, and I think the only one to do it, as a matter of fact. Lane Frost's life came to a tragic end at 1989 in Cheyenne, Wyoming. He successfully rode a bull by the name of Taking Care of Business and scored 86 points, which is a pretty high score. When he dismounted, though, he was put into somewhat of a compromising position, and the bull came back and nailed him with a horn and broke his ribs. And it was really sad. Broke his ribs, severed his main artery, and just killed him pretty much instantly right there in the arena. I could go on and on and on about it, but I just was so inspired by this story. Lane, when you read his story, was a champion in more ways than one. Learning about his life and death, the takeaway for it for me was that myself, with what I have in life, and maybe some of you feel the same way, I feel very, very blessed, but also inspired to be the best that I can on a daily basis. And so that's why I ended up buying the shirt. I bought the shirt and the hat. All the proceeds go to his family, and they run a website dedicated to his memory. And I just thought it was fantastic. So I love the neon. I love the bull riding. It's a great combination. At the end of this show, in our Facebook group that we had the QR code up for before, if you missed it, just search for 66 Minutes in Facebook, and you'll find our group. I'm going to put all those details in the group in a post there for you, talking about Red Rock, talking about Lane Frost, and all that stuff. So you can catch up on that later. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, next update before we get into our guests. Last week, I asked you guys to extend some prayers and thoughts to our friends down in Missouri here near St. Robert. Louis Keene, the mayor of Uranus, underwent a major surgery last week, actually this week, to have some cancer removed from his throat area, lymph nodes and things like that. And as a result, he did make it out of that surgery okay, just fine. But as a result, he posted yesterday, he can hardly talk. He's got severe swelling in his mouth, around his tongue. And so I just ask that you guys keep him in your thoughts, and wish that he has a speedy recovery. We need him out there promoting Route 66 and his business as quick as possible. So, all right. So we're doing good here. Man, I cut our time in half. Usually we're about 10 minutes in. So this is the part y'all been waiting for. But before we get to it, I just need you to do me a favor and share this video. If you would, take it and put it on all the posts on Facebook and all those groups and everything. And I'd really appreciate that. So, all right. Without any more delay, tonight we have the owners of the Jackrabbit Trading Post from Joseph City, Arizona. We have Cindy and Tony Jacquez, and bring them on out, George.
Hey, Cindy, Tony.
How's it going there?
Yeah, Tony and Cindy, all the way from Arizona.
All the way.
Yep.
Hopping out here.
Keeping it hopping, yeah.
That's right.
So, we got a lot to talk about. Probably one of the most questions that are asked is probably, how long have you guys been in business for? And there's a steep history in Jackrabbit.
That was 73, 70.
Well, the store started in 49, so we're 74 this year. I always tell everybody we hold our age very well, but kidding aside, we've had it in my family all but 12 of those 74 years. My granddad, my parents, and Tony and I.
Wow.
And it's been a long time. I pretty much raised here, raised our kids here. Our grandkids are raised here. They're hopping around, so gotta
cool.
do it.
Yeah.
So, George, maybe you could show the old image there.
That's the old rabbit.
That's the original. That's the first one.
Where did that rabbit end up going?
I have no clue what happened to that rabbit.
That was long before your time.
Yeah, that one was out probably, I want to say 54 when the second one came in. This one I think was cement. It was what we've heard in it. At one point it was covered in fur, and then at another point there was a bronc beside it that we found out just fairly recently. There was a bronc beside it, and it had fur on it as well, but I don't remember ever seeing but one picture of that. But this one we heard was concrete and very evil looking, and
Got that crazy look on it.
It had a wild, crazy look, but that was the original. And then 1954 is when we think the second one came in, because we have pictures of it when it was in a convertible car. It was a little bit smaller, I believe, than maybe this one.
Okay.
Just a tad smaller, not much, but it was black.
Well,
I
it's pretty
believe.
scary looking. That kid looks like he's petrified.
Yeah, that's what we heard. A lot of people will come in and say they were traumatized by that rabbit, but then they'll come back later and say, well, we don't know what we were scared of then, but we're not scared of it now. So
That's cool. So, what do you think the most popular item is that you guys sell at the Jackrabbit?
There it is, merchandise.
I'll
Right now?
I'll put up 2 of them. Well, besides that new color changing mug, these
Oh, it's right there.
these are our best sellers.
Right at the moment. Yeah.
This one I think has finally overtaken this one.
That's good. That keeps you busy, doesn't it, Tony?
Yeah.
The big ones,
The big ones were pretty popular in about 2017 through about 2018, 2019.
She had me busy.
Yeah, that he was
busy.
nonstop painting signs and yeah, he's not doing as much now. These little ones are keeping us busy because they're so much more easy to get ready right now, and people it fits in their luggage better, and they can take it with them right now. Is what's so much more popular about this one here, the mini one.
So tell us about the signs. What's the obsession with the signs? Where do the signs come from? What do they mean? Because a lot of people might not know.
Well, the mighty signs in that they're originally, I think Jim Taylor.
Yeah.
He started up he took it over from a gentleman that had a diner, hamburger shack place, a year before in 48. And I think Jim saw a lot of potential in the Jackrabbit. And for him to get people into the store, he almost kind of went off the Burmache signs. The more signs you have out there, the more people are going to get the interest as they want to know what's there. So they on these days off with a friend would go up and down the road putting up signs. And I think they start with so many miles. As you get closer, the signs got bigger and bigger. And I didn't know to this day too. Cindy was showing me a picture. There actually was just plain black rabbits, big rabbits in the middle of nowhere too. Sometimes, and that people would see and wonder what that was about. So when you get here it is. That's where here it is.
There would be big silhouettes of the rabbit with a mileage sign on that rabbit as you got closer.
Yeah.
Like there was one in Joseph City by the power plant there.
That we didn't know.
We didn't know until Jerry McClanahan had seen that, and he's also got that picture.
Yeah.
But it was just, the kids are always saying when they come in now, when they were kids, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And our parents would just say, well, watch for the signs. But yeah, they came down in 1967, and because Lady Bird Johnson started a beautification act, and right during the bypass, those signs had to come down, and we got bypassed in 67. And that's when the signs came out. So it was kind of a memorable year here for the Jackrabbit. Good ways and bad ways, what I'm saying is,
The other thing is that we didn't, when we took it over from her dad, we at that time, I didn't even continue the tradition. He had been doing them for years. He was at that time retirement. He doesn't want to get out. So we started making them again.
2017.
2017, we started making them again.
And I wasn't on Facebook. I don't know if I've told you, Rich, how I did not like Facebook. I'm still kind of a newbie to it. I don't understand a lot of things. But
you and I had a pretty intense discussion about that years ago.
Yeah. And I didn't. And even Ed Klein would come in and tell me even before that I need to get on Facebook. And I said, I don't even know who the heck you are, Ed. And now we're like friends. But
I think our oldest boy is the one that actually finally talked to him when her dad got ill, and he was here, and he set us up. He
set my Facebook up, and I said,
"You're going to get it." He said,
"I don't want it. I don't want it." Well, I was in the ICU with my dad down at St. Joe's in Phoenix, and my son PJ set us up, and I had my personal one, which was still new, and I didn't know how am I going to do this. I was really, really terrified by Facebook, by social media. I didn't know. Well, in 2017, it was like about this time, like April, May, Tony had a friend that we made a sign for. And so he decided, I'll just make a bunch of them. And he was outside back what we used to call the moccasin room at the end of the building. And he had a bunch of them along this fence line here. He had them standing. He had just primed white boards all along the fence, like probably 20 or 25 of them. And I said, what the heck? I'm going to go get a picture, and I'm going to see if I can post it on Facebook, if I can figure out how to do it. And I posted it, and we only had like maybe 200 followers on Facebook at that time. And now we have like 11,000, almost 12,000. And it's like, so I took this picture and I posted it, and the phones were not, for that whole year and change were nonstop calling, we want one, we want one, we want one, we want. And he was painting. He probably painted 200 or 300 signs just to the end of 2017. It was a thing to have, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I've got one.
Yeah.
I've got one behind me here. I had you guys do.
Nice.
I love it.
And there is one original one still out there that was the only one that I have known to be found was found by Jerry McClanahan in New Mexico.
Excuse me.
He was I guess it was private property at that time. He was walking a fence line, and he asked the owner if he could walk around, and he said he saw this board on the ground, and he just took his foot and flipped it over, and voila, there's a Jackrabbit mileage sign, I think 381 or 3 something on it. I don't know, it's in New Mexico, so it's not too far. Maybe
to a good guy. I mean, he's one that deserves it.
So it's in his gallery, hanging in his gallery in Oklahoma.
Yeah, in Chelsea. Yeah, not in Chelsea.
Chandler. Is it Chandler? Clinton? Chandler? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen the sign. I Lucky Dog. He's got a couple signs that I'm very envious over. He's got a Missouri-shaped Route 66 sign, which is very rare.
Geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he deserves it. He's been doing this
for
since the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah.
And, couldn't have a better guy.
He started doing that right about the time we took over this, right about that same time, and he stopped here, I think, right in the mid 80s when my dad was still here, and so yeah, we've known him pretty much ever since then. So
yeah, Jerry's a great guy. I'll have to get him on here one of these days, and
definitely
it may have to be an extended cut or something because he's just a
he
wealth of
knows so
knowledge.
much. It's great to learn from him. It's great to have somebody out there to learn from, and even we love that we can learn, because we don't get to get out and do all these things. We have to learn from everybody else, and even with our visitors, it's like we get to live through them. We could, but one day.
So that's really the beauty of like Facebook and all the social media is that, and I talked about this in a previous episode where Facebook and all the social media platforms have given the as far as David versus Goliath, mom and pop versus corporations. It's given David an upper hand on how to compete with all the corporations now, and it's been really a social media has its downfalls, of course, but for small business across the world, it's been a real godsend, I think.
Well, it has for us, because before we got on there, we were having so many people say that we were closed, and they just, people would drive by and take pictures. They don't even get out and even try the door. And so when I got on Facebook, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it nonstop, and I'm going to get in people's faces. I might as well. I'm going to get in their ears and their brains. And to this day, I still post. I think maybe a handful of days that I have not posted. But even if it's a day off, I'll post something. If I'm out of town, I'll still post something. And it's helped us. And people, just the people that, even if they call me, or if they see Tony, or if they see us in the grocery store, oh, look, it's somebody famous, or we just love what you do. We wake up in the morning just to see what you guys are doing, because we just absolutely love your page. And other people will tell other people that if you want to do something, go follow the Jackrabbit, because they know what they're doing. So and it's all been trial and error for me. It's just I didn't know, and here I am, and I still am going.
Learned a lot in that
I'm still going at it. So.
I'm glad you embraced the whole idea, because people wake up in the morning and they go to sleep doing this, on their phones, and if you can stay in their face, and if you can stay relevant, they won't forget about you. Not only will they not forget about you, but they'll spread the word and tell everybody else about you too. So
Exactly.
So what makes you guys, in the big scheme of Route 66, what makes you guys so much different or unique than, say, some other souvenir store?
I think this helps. These help. The sign helps, but I know we don't get as much as we used to, but people coming in to store after store after store saying how it's the same as the last store we're at. Well, we've gotten to where we don't have any generic T-shirts. We do our own T-shirts. which is not very many Route 66 ones right now because trying to get those has been harder. But we have to do something that's our own, not something that you can find at every single stop along the way. And of course the rabbit. I mean, we decorate him for the holidays, make people want to come out and get pictures, make people want to stop, and then with the sign. And then Tony, like, he lit up the store one night in front. He put lights up, like solar lights. And then one night he did the sign. I mean, it's just out of the blue things that keep people interested. That makes us different because people think that's why they come back, because you're so different, and you make us want to come back.
Do you still sell the underwear? It says here it is.
No, we can't get them. Oh, it's so tough.
You can't get the just the plain whiteys in there. We do that stuff.
Man, I gave my brother-in-law, well, former brother-in-law now, but I gave my brother-in-law a pair of those underwear. I want to say it's been probably, I don't know, 13 years ago or so.
Yeah.
I should ask him for them back. They're probably worth something now.
It's collector's item now. Shoot.
They were hopping for sure. We still have people come in and ask. We still have people asking about the cherry cider. There's lots of things that we can't get anymore that people still ask about, even though it's been 30 years or 20 years since we've gotten it.
The cherry cider.
So.
Yeah, that was funny. You just got some underwear. It says here it is on it.
And we got them from Tony's brother-in-law. Used to make those for us, and he had a tire store at the time. And we got them from another guy, but then Ray would try to do them also. But he says they own a tire store, and so they got to thinking, well, we're gonna get some with ours because we're tire store. Don't tread on me. I said, no, just keep it here. It is. That's fine.
So I guess I'm curious to know, because you guys have so much exposure to the public and the travelers, all the tourists. And tell me, you got to have a few interesting stories or little anecdotes about people that have traveled to the store or that you run into. What's some of your most memorable stories that you have?
Okay, well, I have one. It's not necessarily a customer one.
What's that one?
But it was when my mom and dad owned the store, and you might have another one. But when this is second rabbit was still out here, and we were kids. I had three siblings. I had a twin, an older sister, and a younger brother. And one summer, or I think it was a summertime, and we were supposed to get baptized at the Episcopal Church. And we all, within 2 of us in 2 weeks, and 2 of us the next 2 weeks, we all ended up with chicken pox. And the father, he didn't want to wait to get us baptized, so he came out to the Jackrabbit to baptize us here at home. And when he went to leave, he backed into the rabbit that was out there then, the number 2. And my mom's always told everybody to this day that the rabbit got baptized the same day as the kids got baptized.
That's pretty good.
That was funny. That was one that I liked. And then I don't know, you have anything? Just a memorable time or anything here. Well, tell them about how you took over the place without telling me.
Oh, that story. Well, I think everybody knows that story.
No.
We came to run the store in 1990 from my parents.
No, we didn't run it from me at the time.
We managed it kind of for them. So.
Well, we used to manage convenience stores. I mean, Cindy and I used to do that. She do the paperwork, the counting, and all that. And we got burnt out. Nobody wanted to work, and I was doing all the work. And one night we just came here and sitting in the kitchen here, we're behind it back here. And she was in the store with your mom. You were in the store, I think. Cindy was not involved in here.
I was not with this conversation.
So I was back here, and he's having a drink, and I had a drink with him and that there. And he goes, I'm in the process of selling the place. There's a buyer involved. And down the street, the local was aiming on buying it because they was taking a return at the time. And I opened my big mouth, so I might be interested. And that's all.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
That's it. It's all done.
She had no say.
I will never take this over. Never, not in a million years. I don't want it.
Yeah,
and here we are, 35
I went behind her back and did that to her. So here she is.
But
it's a good thing. Turned out good.
We let my parents be. It gave them a chance to go do. They both retired. They both got to travel for the few years before she passed away. So it gave us that, knowing that we did something good for them. It was meant to be. Yeah, always something.
Take over the place now. So
always a reason.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe still bigger things to come. Who knows?
I mean, you don't regret it, do you?
No.
No. Hey, we. It's interesting how many people you meet I mean, that come from all over.
But let me tell you, we're not definitely not in it to become millionaires, because if you were thinking that we were millionaires, that we're rich, we're definitely not that. We're down home. We're earthly people. We're not bragging about what we have. We've worked for everything we've got, and we all are friends, you know, that we've made through the years, like you. But we've had some amazing customers that come back year after year after year, and they say that this doesn't get any better than that. So
one of the most special items I enjoyed was the baby rattlers, and I want to maybe show our viewers a video of that real quick, if George can pop it up full screen.
Yeah. You had a good friend that brought that to us. It's funny jokes.
voila.
That's the baby rattlers.
Careful, they're scary. There's a friend of ours that comes to the store quite often. He says I think you know him, John Jimenez.
Yeah.
He says we should get a little noisy thing that that plays rattlesnake, like his tail rattling behind us, that people really think there's something in there.
You know, John could do that. You just give him creative license there, and he'll make it happen. And I think that's brilliant, honestly.
Yeah. People would definitely not look at it then. Yeah.
No, they wouldn't.
I had a video of Roger, one of the executive producers for that Small Town Big Deal, and he was scared of everything. And I was, Roger, go over and look at the baby rattlers. He's like, oh,
yeah.
So skittish. It was funny. I don't want to embarrass him.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you think? What do you think makes Route 66 such an iconic and beloved part of our American culture?
The people.
I think it's the people. Yeah.
The people.
I think I get a lot of comments where people go into these kind of places in that there. It's more down to earth. People actually talk to each other. They enjoy going to places like this. The history, finding out what's going on, what 66 was about, and that there. I think that right there. You go into a lot of these main places nowadays on 40 and that there. You don't get that kind of feel. It's just they want to get your money and get out. Places like this, you can actually sit down and visit with them if you have time sometimes.
Learn their history.
Yeah, learn the history of the place.
These places have history, as you know.
Yeah, we history. Well, you and I have
and
had that.
Each story is different.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so interesting. Each story is their story.
Yeah.
And just us here, it's not just our story, it's the past people's story. It's my mom and dad's story, it's my grandparents' story, it's Jim Taylor's story. Yeah. We have all of that to share.
Yeah.
And so we can tell you so much just at this one place.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Well, the other places along 66 is the same
imagine?
Way, so
imagine all the other stories you can hear, and no two are ever going to be alike.
Yeah.
No two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
No, that's why I tell people when they travel Route 66, if you do it right, you'll be back. You'll be back time and time again, and don't feel bad that you don't get to see it all, because guess what? You can never see it all in your life.
We get people that will just travel just to Arizona, just to do Arizona. Just our state alone, each state has so much to offer that, if you do one state a year, you get so much more, I guess, than trying to do the whole thing in just a couple of weeks. You can actually do.
You're really not going to enjoy your trip if you try to shove it all in one. There's no way.
No. So much.
You miss. You're just doing through a shot. You miss too much. Yeah.
Well, we were talking about uniqueness. We're gonna hit one of our next segments that we do every week, which is our picture of the week. But I've been getting so many submissions from our viewers and fans that I can't just pick one sometimes, and this week is not any different than the last. So we're gonna pop up our picture of the week. Go ahead, George. Let's see it. This is my dear friend, Harley Russell from the Sand Hills Curiosity Shop in Eric, Oklahoma.
I've never gotten to meet him, but we're friends on Facebook. And I've heard so many stories about him. So
he, everything about anything around him is just oozes unique qualities and passion and just you'll never meet a man like him. You'll never be in a place like what he's created. You'll never get to see the scene that he puts on anywhere else in the world. He is he is truly an anomaly for the world. He's just one of those attractions. And speaking of attractions, he's showing the roadside attraction sign. He just got one of those. Hampton Inn put those out, I think, in the early 2000s, like around 2003 or 4 or so. And it was to commemorate all the various Route 66 landmarks up and down the road. They didn't do it for motels because they saw them as competition, but they did it for everybody else.
Ours recently. Ours is newer too. We just got ours within the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
2 or 3, 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, Reese Martin and a few others took it upon themselves to contact a sign manufacturer to get those start manufactured again.
Good.
And they're going up all the place. It's good to see them.
Yeah. I should pull over just to see what it's about, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they could zoom in on that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a great looking sign. We got 2 more pictures. Next one is from Nancy Baragry. Let's see here. She's going to pop this up.
Oh, Nancy. Yeah.
So she posted these in the group and she posted her whole family sitting on the rabbit, which I think is fantastic. Getting your family out there on Route 66, making those memories.
Yeah. We do have people that will come out and take pictures like that for like their Christmas pictures or their wedding pictures, or they'll come and get T-shirts from us with the Here It Is and go to Disneyland and wear all their T-shirts with the Disneyland at the Cars Land, but we do see that quite often.
Yeah, you're a part of people's lives, their family memories.
Yeah.
We got one other picture here. Let's see here. From Paul Hickey. And this is out of Springfield, Missouri. And it's the Railhaven Motel. As soon as George gets it popped up here. I picked this one because of basically the composition of the winter scene. You don't see a whole lot of winter scene photos on Route 66, and this is a pretty good one. I like the
That's good.
I like the blue with the heavy contrast of the darkness of the signs and the gray skies and everything. It's something I could see myself taking. So it's
cool.
It's a really good picture.
Is that a neon sign?
That is a neon sign. Yeah, the city of Springfield put that up, and it lights up every night. It seems like every town along the way, actually along all the U.S. highways, would have these signs put up with an arrow pointing down to their business district. I've seen them in other towns, not on 66, like on US 60 and 54 and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Don't see them too much anymore.
No,
that's a reproduction. I think the city put that up about 8 or 10 years ago.
Nice though.
Yeah. So, last week we were talking about Rich Henry, and we were talking about firsts, and he was he had a couple of firsts, but we'll focus on the good one, which is he signed the hood of the adventure truck. He was the very first person to sign the hood of the adventure truck. This was back in 2010, which seems almost like yesterday to me, probably to you guys too. But it's been 13 years ago
now. It didn't seem like that long ago.
Yeah. And but you guys signed it, or not Tony, because Tony wasn't there, but Cindy signed it about a month after Rich Henry did.
Oh, geez. I missed out on that, darn it.
We'll get you. I'll get down there one of these days with the hood, and we'll get you on there. Either that, or you guys can come to St. Louis.
That's right. Someday.
That's right.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of signatures on there by that time. It was about a month. In fact, you're right next to Jerry McClanahan. He's right there in the corner of the hood.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good memory. That was the time I think I had the discussion with you about Facebook and how important it was.
I got many of those. I didn't even know what it was then, and I said, no, I don't want it.
Hey, George, you want to open up the chat and see if any viewers out there have some interaction they want to ask some questions or give some comments to our guests tonight? Have you seen anything, George? Maybe George will pop up here and see if he's got anything.
I'm here. like a little wizard behind the curtain. No, most of the stuff, I don't know if everybody's been paying attention or not. I've been popping up some of your comments, trying stuff a little bit differently. I know Rich caught a couple of them. I know if I head back up, we had a couple questions. All right, what about this rub? Have you guys talked about the rub? No one's talked about the rub yet. Everyone's commenting on the rub. You guys got to talk about the rub.
Can I go get some?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Yeah, now I'm getting worried. I'm assuming for the questions that have been asked, there's some sort of rub for food.
Yeah, we have a couple local guys that do. He does his own rubs, grows his own stuff in that there, and puts everything together. So he's got probably about 20, 30 kind of rubs, or not rubs, but the spices and stuff that we have in the store for him.
Okay, I didn't know if it was for like my shoulders or something I was going to get.
Okay, so
no, it's
so we about, I don't know, I think it was about 2018. I'm not sure when John Hunt first started bringing his green chili garlic salt in, and they were in just all small bottles. This is the medium-sized bottle, but they were all in small bottles. And we tried, maybe he didn't have our label. He had his label, and he had the garlic. I mean, the hatch green chili, and he had the ghost pepper, and he had a couple other flavors like rosemary, jalapeno, and we just started out with 4. And today we probably have 30 or 40 different brands or different names, and he's name dropped them for us. But this is his #1 seller, the green chili.
That's a good one.
And this one we have a hard time keeping on the shelves. Our next 2 best sellers are the Jackrabbit rub, which is really, can you see that?
Yep.
Jackrabbit rub. It's got hash green chili. It's got oregano, cracked black pepper, garlic, onion in it, no salt. But man, I tell you, this is good on everything. We can do it for breakfast. We can do it for lunch. We can do it for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is the roadkill rub.
Potatoes.
This is good on everything too. This is a no salt one, but man, the flavors are good. It's a little bit kick. It's not spicy, but it's got a little bit of a hint of the chili in there. But John did amazing stuff with it. And his during the 2020 shutdown, and you could go into restaurants and they took all the salt and the pepper off the tables, and you had to ask for the little packets, which sometimes were a little empty, and you'd have to ask for more and ask for more. So John decided to come up with GSP. We keep this in the car because we can take it. It's garlic, salt, and pepper. It's his own garlic. He grows his own garlic, and it's sea salt and it's pepper, and then there's parsley and some. But
good stuff.
You could take this into a restaurant. It's so much better than the salt and pepper that's on the table anyway. That's what you have to buy one to keep in your car because it is amazing. It's good. That's his best idea. 2020 did good for a lot of people and maybe not so good for some others, but John had some good ideas. Yeah. And now he's selling at a lot of places. He's at Roadkill Cafe now in Seligman. Yeah. He's got a lot of local in Arizona, and he sells his stuff all over the country.
Anybody calls him up,
Dusty River Garlic Spices. He's Dusty River Spices.
Some of our viewers want to know if there's a minimum order to order from you.
Yeah, just give us a call. Some of them are on our website, jackrabbit-tradingpost.com. But otherwise, if there's something because I'm going to be posting this week because it's National Garlic Day here coming up. I think I have to celebrate all holidays. So I am weird like that, but that's one of the things that people like, that we keep things hopping and not like any other page. So, but I'll post all the different ones we have. And if you don't see it on the website, just give us a call. It's just that easy. Pick up the phone, message us, whatever. It's just that easy.
We're gonna have to do a cooking episode.
Yeah, I know. My daughter's been doing a few of those. She'll do some of the stuff with his, and John will post on his page because he'll actually get her the biggest bottle there is, so because she'll post, oh, this is Dusty River Spices, or something. So he'll get her some big ones, and then she'll post her whatever she's cooking with his stuff. And I do sometimes. I don't do videos because I don't know how well that would turn out, but I do post
some. Try it. I mean, it's not like it costs you any money. The worst that could happen is you don't like what you did and you can delete the video, but you should try doing at least a recorded video with your phone. And Amazon sells all sorts of silly little stands and lights and things like that.
Yeah,
or even do a live video.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
All right, I'm going to take this chat overlay off. We got someone else. I'm just going to pop it up. How many Miss Cindy cupcakes does it take to fill up a big gray
Jim
rabbit?
Huddleston, that gotta be you. Oh
That's
my
him.
gosh.
Is that him, really?
Jim Huddleston and Mr. Rabbit have a love-hate relationship going on. I tell you, they fight over Twinkies, they fight over anything sweet, and Mr. Rabbit's always the one to blame. I tell you.
Yeah.
Jim's hilarious.
Oh my
He's a
gosh.
really creative guy. He comes up with all these
He
little
is fun.
memes
Yeah,
and
I think he was
caricatures.
at that thing you had yesterday at Carthage. Was he there? He was at something yesterday with whatever was going on.
If he was, he didn't come introduce himself or announce himself to me. But then I got tied up pretty bad with all the business of meetings, and then I had a flat tire. Of course, that was fun.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't see him.
Okay.
Did somebody else? Oh,
Got
yeah,
another one.
Jorge
Have you guys
Mendez.
had any celebrities come and visit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
That's your
mean,
dad's. Tell your dad's on that one.
what, I know.
You want to name drop, selflessly name drop?
Well, there's this one guy that he had a show called This Is It on NBC. Gosh, I can't even pronounce his name. My niece just absolutely loves him. Fatagulali or I don't know.
gosh.
He was
We
here
didn't know
right.
who he was.
We didn't know who he was, and I guess he was famous. And so when we posted that he was here, everybody went Google-eyed and was saying, "Oh my gosh,
Super nice guy too. I mean,
And-
he did like a.
I mean, he was here right before the shutdown in 2020, and then he said he was coming back, and then the shutdown hit. He never came back, but I can't even remember his name. But I remember back right before we took this over. It was like in the mid 80s. My dad had this two guys that came and were filming him. They were filming him cut his wood and haul in wood, and they were just following the episodes. He was stocking beer. They were just following him, filming him. It was hauling oats, and he had no clue.
Yeah, no clue who they were.
Hall & Oates?
Hauling oats were filming him. And
yeah, the actor. Quite a few actors.
there was an actor. Gosh, I can't think of him now. I have to think of him. But there the ones that sing not Tiny Bolt, but the coasters were here. They were here twice with
Some of
Tony.
the coasters were here. Yeah.
The actor. What's the guy now that I have to think of? I can't think of their names.
You were put on the spot. That's why.
Merle Haggard was here with my dad, but we did have one here. He's an actor. He did the movie Contact with it was in New Mexico. What is his name?
With Jodie Foster.
Yes, that guy. I can't think of his name.
I don't know who that guy is, but it's definitely Jodie. I don't think it's Jodie Foster.
It's not Jodie Foster. No. It was the. I never think of it when I have to think of it. But he was here. Oh, gosh, he did a movie with Dolly Parton too. Gosh, I can't think of his name. It's so easy too. James Woods. Yeah.
Oh, James Woods. Yeah.
Is it James Woods?
It was James Woods.
Gosh,
Yes.
nice guy.
It was James
He
Woods.
came in like act like a normal person. He goes, "Mom needs just needs a bathroom in after, but I'm gonna look around." And he's just walking around like it was.
Like we knew
who he was.
We didn't make a big deal.
Yeah, we knew who he was, and after we just kind of like
As close as I got to James Woods. James Wood is probably someone that you'd be like, you look recognizable. Were you my principal?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He's one of those guys.
More people come in that say he looks like Wolfman Jack. And
You do look like Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, because I think it's that monkey on the Lion King.
Yeah, you do look like Wolfman
But
Jack.
everybody says that even though I have a twin sister, everybody says I look like Sissy Spacek, but I don't know what that's.
You do look like Sissy Spacek. Yeah.
So we hear
Yeah.
that a lot, but yeah, when Kenny Rogers' bus driver was here, that's as close as we got to him.
we might have had more than that we don't know. I know we think quite a few. Your dad probably knew that.
The last group we had here, I don't know how new they are. They were called the Piedmont Boys. They're a country band. They're fairly new, I think.
Yeah,
they were here.
We had to put them.
Guy Fieri was here.
Well, he was doing that special trip.
It was a Route 66
partial on that
food trip, family road trip. Yeah.
Road trip 66, and I think he also was doing something to help the servicemen somewhere.
He ended up with feeding a big thing for the Army or the Navy or somewhere at the end. So it was really cool.
Somebody had a question out there about what your plans are for the gas station down just west of you on the corner.
Oh man, that's a lot of time and work. We don't know what the plans are yet, but cleaning up has been the biggest process. My uncle was such a hoarder that just cleaning it out was a big process.
There was just a lot of stuff down there. When he retired, he just moved everything out here. He had rentals. He put everything out of here, and
there was all kinds of stuff.
Just stuff in that there. So I told Cindy, I think I'm gonna hire somebody to come down and clean it up. And I should have never had to come down there because I was gonna keep some stuff. She shows up and I got a motorcycle through the side, some motors and that. And she looks at it and she goes, "It's all going."
It's all going. And then I tell you, no sooner than I posted that post. Everybody said, "Well, I wanted this. Well, what are you doing with that?" I said, "Nope, everything's gone." That was our main point.
She didn't want me to deal with it. So.
But our next biggest project is going to be getting like plumbing fixed.
We're working on the
and electrical fix, the outside, we're getting cleaned up. But those are, and windows, those are all big projects. So that takes time, that takes money.
We're don't have the outside right now, putting gravel down, eventually within a year, and then fix all the roofs before anything else. So the winds have torn them up a little bit.
What is your ultimate goal or dream for that old gas station down there?
Well, we trying to get our kids involved. We want them to give us ideas. So we've gotten anywhere from.
She and I have an idea what we're going to do.
From bed and breakfast to a donut shop to a cafe to ice. But I don't want to get into cafe business, but it could be like an event place. Who knows? I mean, we could do many things with it, but the cleanup's the biggest part. I tell you.
We got the main part, the cleaning part out of the way. So now we just gonna start doing a little bit on the side, easy stuff, and
it's just time.
Yeah.
I like the Airbnb idea because you can cross market to Route 66 people, and then you're right there on the interstate also. So you got those people who are looking for that one of a kind stay. That can be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And what Tony, his idea was, I don't know how that would be possible. We'd have to have some kind of a contractor for that. He wants to be able to put on the back side of it, like up above, where you can sit out at night and watch the stars, because we have the most amazing night sky. Nothing to impede it, nothing to distract you from it. Just that. And then in the occasional trains going by, I mean, that would be the ultimate place to have a picnic or a night out, or who knows, so.
Up on top of the
building? Just something out there.
Not on top, it's on the back.
Like a deck, a high deck or something.
Like a high deck and that there on the outside, yeah.
But that's just some ideas.
That idea. That's a really good idea.
Ideas, and our middle son wants to do like a walkway from there to here, where you could take this little train ride or some little tiny train ride here and there. It's like, that's still time. So just fun. We're just throwing ideas around right now. Just lots of getting it done. We're just can't get it all right now. So
that's cool. That's good to hear that you guys are sprucing that place up. Tell me a little bit more about, just Route 66 in general. So what's like one of your favorite places on Route 66?
What's your favorite place?
Oh gosh, it's gotta be that. Right now?
He's gonna say it.
Pie place.
See, I told you.
Midpoint. I've had the best pies. I hate to say that right there at the. I gotta.
Oh, Midpoint. That's my favorite. Go.
Hey, I've had pies and chocolate. I don't like chocolate pies, but this pie was great. I mean,
it was an Elvis Presley pie. It was.
Well, I mean, I haven't been anywhere else, so there might be some other places comparable. So I just have to travel and find out. I have to go further maybe to find some more. We'll see.
Can I just say something real quick?
Sure.
We're kind of like not Roman Rich, like Rich at the Henry's Rabbit Ranch. He had a lot of bunnies. We got grandkids running around, so sorry if you see them running around. They're hopping behind us. So just wanted to put that out there.
Hey, that's okay. We're getting the real side of you guys.
Yeah, we have the biggest playground around. But the pie was amazing at Midpoint, and Brenda was so nice.
Yeah. That told. You tell the story on that?
Mm-hmm.
You already told.
No, I told Rich.
Oh, yeah. You told Rich about it?
No, not all of it. It's just that she finished.
No, go ahead and share with the audience. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, Tony and I, we were going to a wedding in Houston, and we took the I-40 way. And so we were trying to get there as soon as we could. Well, we got to talking about Midpoint, the pie place, and we weren't sure where, because we don't know.
I said Midway.
He kept saying Midway. So it's Midpoint. It's Midpoint. And he kept saying it's Midway. And we said, well, we want to find out where it's at, because we never get to drive it. So we don't know where all these places are. And we saw Vega, and he just took off. Like, I think that's where we took off. Is that Vega? Is that right? Is that right? Yeah. I don't know. And so we took the back road, and boom, there's this Midpoint.
Yeah.
And so we walk into Midpoint after taking some pictures outside and not knowing what to expect. We knew absolutely nothing about it. except people say that there's pie there. So we walk in, and Brenda, this lady is standing at the register talking to the two, like 70, 80-year-old, two ladies that are like in their 70s and 80s, traveling Route 66, headed our way to Arizona. And they said, we hear her saying, no, there is places in Arizona to see. And the ladies go, well, what?
They were arguing with her about it.
Yeah, they said there's nowhere in Arizona. And so we walk in, and she sees our shirts. So we're, of course, wearing our Jackrabbit shirts. And she goes, no, look, there's one right there. Those shirts, look at that's Jackrabbit. That's in Arizona. And I go, Brenda, this is us. She goes, this is Tony and Cindy. We own the Jackrabbit. She just totally went berserk. She goes, no way. Somebody famous from 66 coming in my store. Oh, she
never had people that,
No, she thought we were, yeah. So we made her day, and then she just filled us up with pie, sent us with 2 big bags full of pie to take home.
Good pie. The chocolate one was great.
The Elvis Presley pie, I didn't think I was going to like. It was amazing.
I'm curious, Tony, by chance, did you try any of Brenda's burgers that she makes?
They were closing down.
I got lucky enough to try the pies. At least I got that. Next time, maybe when I shoot.
We had just got there right at the time she was closing down the grill and everything, so we didn't. But she sent us home with everything that was left of the pies, everything. So when we got to Texas, to Houston, we split pie with everybody. Literally, there was pie to feed 20 people.
Yeah, the pies there are great.
Right?
There's lots of places along Route 66 that claim to have the best pies, and I would say Midpoint's right up there with the top 5, at least in my opinion. I know Westside Lilo's and Seligman's got great pie, fantastic pies, but probably the king of them all. I don't know, I could be partial, but in Missouri they have a place called Slice of Pie. It's just it's nothing but a pie store now. It's just this huge store with nothing but pies. Pretty amazing.
That's why I say I got to make my trip further that way so I can try them out.
Again, someday.
Shoot on that way and try them out. We'll see.
They need like a sampler.
I hope that was a good shout out for her.
What's that?
They need like a sampler platter or something like that.
That's right.
Just get like a little slice of everything.
That's it. She should do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Brenda's a great gal, and hope she's doing really well there. I need to get her on the show. I know she's really super camera shy. I'll have to threaten her or something. Like I'll have to like threaten her with an edited video that I've already taken of her or something like that. But she'd be fantastic down here. Oh, we've got another message here. What did that say, George? I didn't get a chance to read it before it vanished. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I think the Midpoint is the perfect place to order dessert first. I agree.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Well, that's Angie. Yeah.
Do we have any other chatters going on there, George? Midpoint burgers are huge. Yeah, they are. They're like this
so
big.
there's a question there.
They're pretty good size, huh?
No cars showed up. Cars producer showed up at the Jackrabbit. Yes, they did.
So what did John Lasseter's team, how did they interact with you guys down there when they were getting ready to make the movie Cars?
Well,
John and Michael, huh?
They showed up with Michael Wallace.
Was there somebody else with them? There was three guys.
There was
right?
a couple producers.
Yeah.
And John Lasseter and Michael Wallace.
They were here a good hour or so.
Yeah, they brought all their plans. They called us and said we're going to show up. They didn't tell us what they were planning. They just said they were coming by.
Yeah. We
didn't know what was going on, and they said we have plans that we want to show you because we want to include you in our Cars movie. That's really, really cool. And they showed us this book, and it's all pencil drawings. And they showed us the sign. The Here It Is sign. It was all in pencil, and it had this old car on it, and it had all the cars across the top. And we said, oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. And we still didn't know what we were gonna expect. And they, well, you won't have a talking point, which is fine by us. But then they got to talking about the movie, and then we learned. And Michael Wallace was just showing them everything. They said we're taking them all the way. Yeah. And we wanted to include you, and we said, well, that's really great. We think that.
Yeah, the right guy.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
Oh, they had the rags showing them everything in that there, so they actually got everything pretty well, good detail when they came out with the movie. So if you look at it, I mean, so much is compacted into the movie itself, and that was nice. I enjoy sitting there with the grandkids and after watching the movie and after when it first came out. That's pretty cool.
I still enjoy watching the movie. I've probably watched it 500 times, and I'm glad you guys mentioned Michael Wallace, because that kind of gets me into my tip of the day, which I'll go ahead, or tip of the week rather. So I'm doing my tip of the week now, Cindy. You mentioned Michael Wallace, and it's perfect that you mentioned him, because the tip of the week for everybody this week is read a book, or maybe read 2 books. Read more. So one of the biggest questions I get on Route 66 is how I can help people plan their Route 66 trip. And the honest truth is I can't help you plan your Route 66 trip. There's so many different books and there's so many different perspectives on Route 66. Your trip is a trip of a lifetime, and you need to basically find that trip yourself. And there's really no better way to do that if you haven't done Route 66 before is reading a book. It's going to help you mold your expectations, your travel plans. Cindy and I were talking before the show got started, where people are out there on the Facebook groups and they're already in the midst of their trip, but they don't know what to do at all. Like they're running around going, what can we do here? What can we do there? Well, if you do that, if you procrastinate, you're going to be met with a lot of frustration if you don't research and plan your first trip.
Yeah, that's true.
When I first started doing Route 66 was about roughly 20 years ago, a little bit longer. And there wasn't really anything much on the internet. And I wasn't even aware that there were Route 66 books, but I got my hands on a couple, and I didn't realize there was any maps or guides. And so I had to kind of figure it all out for myself. But, and ultimately that's what made me who I am today. But it's because I read all these books and dug into everything I could find. And, it's a trip of a lifetime. Nobody's going to plan it for you. If you want to do it right, you got to train your brain. That's kind of how it goes into it. It's a lot
more fun. You'll enjoy your trip more too that way.
Yeah, it's a lot like if you were going to go to a foreign country or something. If you're going to go to like Spain or Germany or something like that, you're going to get a whole lot more out of that trip if you do some research and maybe even learn the language a little bit. So that's my tip of the week.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so bringing it back to the Michael Wallace. A couple of days or a couple of weeks after they were here, we were going through some of my mom and dad's storage out there, and it had 3 generations of things out there, and this just happened to come up in the storage. And it matched exactly what was being used on the Cars movie. Don't know why it showed up, but we've had it in our Route 66 room ever since.
Yeah, it looks like a version of Tin Lizzie.
So yeah, that was what I wanted to finish, because that it all worked together right in that same time that they were here, and that just how weird that showed up right at that time.
Well, I'm certainly thankful for the movie that they put out, because it's been inspiring people for
people make their trips around that. So it's kind of fun.
Well, I got a couple other questions for you guys. Let me see here. Let me back up a little bit. Let's see. I have so many questions. What do you think some of the biggest challenges are for the Trading Post?
Getting people off the road, mostly. Getting them to want to get out of their car and actually come in.
Instead of rolling down the window and taking the picture.
Taking drive-by shootings,
Drive-by shooters. That's
I know it's not just us either; it's everywhere. But we do see that more and more, and that's a hard one to take. Yeah, they're the people that tell other people that we're closed when we're not closed.
Or that there's really nothing on 66 to experience. I went and did that Route 66 thing. Yeah, I don't know what all the hype is about.
And it's not. They're not learning anything about it at all. The heart of it. That's
gotta get out of the car.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, let me see if I can find one more question for you guys. Are there any particular items or artifacts at the Trading Post that are especially important? Oh, look at that.
An original tie-on bumper sticker.
The reflection on it.
Can you see that?
No.
No? Okay.
Right there.
Yeah, the angle's good. That
right there?
Tell us about the tie-on bumper sticker, because the Merrimack Caverns kind of had the same thing, and somebody was credited for inventing these things. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, what they would do is it gave the local kids after school jobs. It gave them weekend jobs. It gave them holiday jobs. These are like almost 2 feet long, and they are cardboard, and they would have kids come out and tie these onto the back of bumpers. Yeah. Then they would get paid like a penny or a half a penny to tie these on for everyone that they tied on, and a lot of these families wouldn't know that they were even on the car until they got home, if they even made it. And this one is one of 2 that we know, that maybe 3 that are out there. And this one is in not as good a shape as maybe some of the others we've heard. One of them is, I know, in California. I'm not sure where the other one is.
You get this one though.
And this guy gave this to Tony and I a few years ago after telling Tony that he came in. He says,
I talked to him and I said that of all the things I wanted was a
tie-on bumper sticker.
And he actually came out. He goes, I think I might have one. Either his parents or grandparents and that there had it.
Maybe parents.
And I thought he was joking around, and he come in one day. I already knew what he had in his hands. He goes, I got something for you. I'm like, and sure enough, it's one of these here. So, yeah.
Can you show the folks there? We're going to put you guys up on full screen. Can you show all the viewers that again? Because that's really so special.
Yeah, this one was donated. It's actually by Patrick and Donna. Is it Donna? Donna Miller.
Maybe back up just a hair. There you go. There. Perfect. Yeah.
And then they put what they wrote on the back to us. They have a letter and everything with it. So it says the original Jackrabbit Arizona bumper placard was wired on our 1962 Chevrolet Impala station wagon on one of many summer vacations between California and Oklahoma in the 1960s. We stopped for gas and a Coke every year and took a picture of me next to the original Big Rabbit statue in the parking lot. This hung in my parents' Eugene and Marjorie garage for 50 years, donated in their honor in 2018 to the Jackrabbit.
That is amazing. Something like that's got to be worth a lot of money.
It might be, but then like when we were kids, it was a water decal. And so when we were kids, we would go out and we would take a bucket and a sponge and a towel, and we'd wash the bumper off, and we'd dry it off, and then we'd put the bumper or the bumper sticker in like water in the bucket, and then peel it off, and we'd have to squeegee it out so it was smooth. That was we didn't get paid to do it though, but that's what and then that's what we did as kids, and besides stocking the old Coke cooler that my dad had. But then in the 80s, it turned into like the peel and stick, and then nobody wanted them anymore. So that was kind of the end of a good thing. But it was always the idea to let the kids go out and do that while the people are out in here shopping. They never knew what was going on outside.
I love it. That's hilarious. That's the same stories that like Lester Dill would talk about the Merrimack Caverns. You know, they'd send the guys out there tying on bumper stickers or putting bumper stickers on everybody's car, and that's just awesome. It's a good old American ingenuity there.
Yeah.
What's the longest distance you've put on a mileage sign, Tony?
Australia.
It's like 9,800.
9,000 something miles on that. Australia is the furthest one so far. I'm trying to catch somebody that's on the outskirts, the island, one of the islands out of Australia. That'd be pretty cool. Might reach at 10,000 maybe. That'd be pretty cool.
So I think there's the big one that Tony paints is like there's a 97 or something, but I think there's a mini one that's got even more. It's like a 98 or something, 99. So
that's my furthest one.
How many signs do you think you've made, Tony?
Huh? Big ones?
How many signs do you think you've made?
Are we talking big ones?
Yeah, the big ones.
Sign,
the painted ones.
A little bit over.
Maybe 400 or 500.
400 or 500 are the big ones in that there. Yeah, around there.
Over 1,000 on these.
Yeah, easily over 1,000 of the small ones. Yeah.
Worldwide.
And we got and we're doing that crazy thing with those now too.
Yeah. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, go for it.
We decided that, well, we haven't decided, but we did that we want to help support other businesses and get people actually to go in the businesses and support them. So we know we have these in many businesses, not just in Arizona, but all across 66. And we've put out X marks the spot treasure hunt. So if you can find 6 of these in 6 different businesses and take a picture of it, take a picture of the business and give us a receipt or show us a receipt that you actually spent something at that business, and you bring it to us, you get to spin. We have a prize wheel of all kinds of Jackrabbit or Route 66 items that you can win here just for doing that on your trip. And you don't have to spend the money with us. We want you to support other businesses.
That is brilliant. So I'll recap it for everybody, and I don't have the sign here, and my license plate I have is screwed to something, attached to something.
There, right?
You go into these businesses that have the Route 60 or the Jackrabbit sign on the business with the mileage on it. Take a picture, keep your receipt, keep it together. You do 6 of these businesses across your Route 66 trip, and then once you get to the Jackrabbit, you're going east to west. Or, I mean, you could do it west to east also. There's plenty of opportunities there. Yeah. So,
and you can do it locally here too, because we have so many just here locally.
Yeah.
But we just want a picture of the sign, the business or the business owner, and a receipt. That's it. 3 easy things, 6 times. That's it.
I think that's amazing. One of our best commenters, Jorge Mendez, he's got a couple of questions. And I'll rattle them off. You can answer them. He wants to know how much the signs are, and what else did he say? He said something about if you ever want to sell that Jackrabbit bumper sticker, let us all know. But I'm sure
we wouldn't even know what to value that at. But
so how much are the big signs?
The big signs are $45, and they have to be pre-ordered because this time of year, especially because they take so long for the paint to dry. Because the cold and the wind and all that affects it. So those are $45. And if we have to ship it, I mean, that could cost a little bit more, maybe 20-ish, depending on where it's going. But the little ones are $13, $12.95. So that's not too bad. But they can be done right now whenever you're here. Those take no time at all. But the big ones that we have to do, it takes at least 2 or 3 weeks.
That's cool. Well,
just give us a call.
Really appreciate you guys coming out tonight. We're already over our 66 minutes. That doesn't happen too often, but we're there. So I appreciate you guys coming out tonight. We'll have to do this again if you don't mind. We're putting up links for the Jackrabbit Trading Post now, so people can scan those. You got your Facebook page at the top, and then down at the bottom, we've got your website, so people can scan those and they can go right to your pages. So yeah, anything you would like to part with, Cindy and Tony, to tell the travelers out there?
Keep on hopping. Just keep on hopping.
Just get out and enjoy. I mean, just enjoy. Just get out and have a good time.
Meet the people.
Yeah, meet the people.
Learn their history, because that's what's going to keep Route 66 alive, no doubt.
Exactly.
Amen.
And it's not just us; it's everybody.
Don't rush. I mean, you rush, you won't have fun. Just have fun. That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on tonight, and I'll see you down the road.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rich.
Have a great night. Okay.
You too.
All right.
So again, special thanks to Cindy and Tony for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in getting our notifications for our shows, I send out typically every week an email reminder. So you can go right up there and scan that, and you can sign up. It's just a quick little email sign up form that you can get on there, and I can send you the emails every week on who's on the show next. Next week, not really sure. So I'm actually going to be out doing what I do best next week, which is roaming. And I don't know where I'm going to be at any certain time next week, but I will try to do something next Sunday at 7 p.m. I don't know what it's going to look like or who it's going to be with or where, but I'll try to do something. And so it's going to be a grab bag special. So you have to tune in next week at 7 p.m. Please follow, subscribe. Most importantly, like and share these videos. If you missed videos or want to see others, you can always go on my YouTube channel at Hooked on Route 66 and click on the live category and find my old videos there from all these different 66 minutes webcasts. Other than that, we ask that you subscribe to the show. We'll put a little QR code up there in that corner, I think, and get that going. Every little donation helps. We really appreciate it. It costs us a lot of money to put this show on, and it takes a lot of time. So please donate. And if you miss the opportunity to click on this, you can always go back on YouTube and fast forward to that point, and we would certainly appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for coming out tonight. And as always, I'm Roamin Rich. Thanks for coming out. And by the way, thanks to both the Georges for producing the show. They're behind the scenes, George the Fourth and George the Fifth, his son. So thank you guys, and see you next week. As always, go your own way. See you guys down the road.